Hey everyone, Emery here from the Intrepid Double Seven podcast. Why did I bring this out? My ESP Explorer. This is actually a guitar that I've had for over 20 years. And that's because I'm really big into hard rock, and especially metal music. And you might be wondering, well, what's the connection with James Bond? Well, believe it or not, I'm here to prove a point. James Bond does get metal, and I'll get to that. Now, to get to that, we kind of have to go backwards in time and talk about rock music in general, and how rock has eventually had an influence on the James Bond theme songs. The first couple of theme songs for Bond have been kind of like jazzy kind of numbers. We didn't really get one in Dr. No or in From Russia with Love. We didn't From Russia with Love. Goldfinger, we got that boisterous big theme from Shirley Bassey, who was a popular singer at the time, and then Tom Jones with Thunderball, and then back to Shirley Bassey. We had Nancy Sinatra in there, who, of course, popular musicians of the time. But then is when rock hit. So for 1973's The Man with the Golden Gun is when we get a real proper rock theme song coming from who else but Paul McCartney, a Beatle, and Wings, of course. And that was kind of what sparked the kind of connection between James Bond theme musics and harder rock. And now you'll argue that come the next couple of theme songs really don't have that much rock connection at all. The man, I said the Man with the Golden Gun earlier, I meant Live and Let Die. What am I talking about? Brain fart. So Live and Let Die came out in 1973, written by Paul McCartney and Wings. Then the next couple of theme songs are arguably more in the pop sense. We do get a-ha, who come in and do a theme song for The Living Daylights. We had Duran Duran from A View to a Kill just previous to that. Duran Duran, can argue that they're a little more of a rock band. We don't really get anything really super hard rock until Garbage actually did The World Is Not Enough. And Garbage is a well-known Scottish kind of pop punk band, or more grungy punk band. And then, of course, one of the kings of grunge, Chris Cornell, did the theme song for Casino Royale. We had a flop, unfortunately, with Another Way to Die featuring Jack White. And then we went right back into the kind of pop crooner kind of stratosphere with popular musicians like Adele and Sam Smith, and most recently Billie Eilish. But a lot of those songs have actually been covered by heavy rock musicians, starting with arguably one of the better grunge thrash rock acts of the late 80s, early 90s in Guns N' Roses. So on their Spaghetti Incident album, I believe it was, they did a cover of Live and Let Die. Of course, one of the better rock covers of that song, a great version of that song, and just pains me to not see a Slash solo on that. But then progressively and quietly, there are other covers that I had become aware of. I was aware of the Guns N' Roses cover for a long time, and then I kind of started searching for others. And what's really interesting is when Swatch came out with their Villains collection of watches a number of years ago, they released an accompanying album that went with it. And strangely enough, it was by this obscure Finnish band called Leningrad Cowboys. So they were kind of like a Russian-themed communist-era pompadour-wearing Finnish rock band with a full orchestra that were doing all kinds of crazy covers. And on this Swatch album, they did a cover of Goldfinger, the James Bond theme, and A View to a Kill, which are all fantastic cover versions. And of course, in my opinion, as a rock musician and someone who's into rock, I would say that, but I would argue that these are great covers of these songs. And then you go down this rabbit hole of covers that have been done of James Bond theme songs. Arctic Monkeys, which is another popular kind of alt pop punk rock band from England, does a cover of Diamonds Are Forever. That is fantastic. A lot better than the David McAlmont version that's on the David Arnold Shaken Not Stirred album. if you go farther than that, even on that album, you've got a rock version by Chrissie Hynde of the Pretenders doing a version of Live and Let Die. And then even more recently, both the Skyfall and No Time to Die theme songs have been covered by this this kind of, I don't want to call them new metal, but this kind of hardcore metal band that goes by the name of Our Last Night. So they've done both the cover of Skyfall, which is fantastic, and a cover of No Time to Die, which I also think is fantastic. Not that the original No Time to Die theme song is not good, but it's just not really my cup of tea when it comes to music. I find Billie Eilish has this voice that is particular to her style of music, and, well, maybe a little bit better than Sam Smith's Spectre theme song. I still prefer the more rock version of it. Speaking of Spectre, there was an alternate theme song for Spectre as well, performed by Radiohead, very popular band from the 1990s, who did a lot of kind of grunge and alt stuff. So you see that the history of hard rock music associated with Bond has always been there. Sheryl Crow does the theme song for Tomorrow Never Dies, and that's backed up by an alternate theme song that's used for the end credits by Katie Lang. Both fabulous kind of these rock songs. So the history with rock is there. I can just rattle off other great covers, and because of copyright issues, I can't share them here in this video. But Diablo, heavy metal group out of, I'm assuming, Norway, I don't quite remember at the moment, does a cover of A View to a Kill, which, if you're a metal fan, wow. Also, even the influence goes from the video games, because the GoldenEye theme music is covered everywhere by metal musicians. Just go into the search bar in YouTube and search GoldenEye metal cover, and you'll find covers of the Cradle theme, the Damn theme, the Pause music. I mean, these are all great tracks by themselves, and they've got this really awesome rock vibe when it comes to a metal cover. So if you're a metal fan, or if you're a fan of harder rock like me, and shout out to Ray Krumpold and P.O. Bernier, that's for you, man. There is this fandom that exists within the Bond community that like other stuff as well. So if you're like me and you're a fan of rock music, this is the video for you, because there is rock covers out there of popular Bond music. So in hopes that the next reboot of the Bond franchise includes a rock singer that does another theme song, I mean, I'm still like the pop versions. The rumors when Dua Lipa wanted to do a theme song was great, but so was the rumors when Muse wanted to do one when they were at the height of their popularity, and they even released a song, and I can't remember the name of it now, but did have some kind of James Bondy vibes to it. So the rock connection to James Bond is there. There is a metal connection. Metal. Let me get one here with the guitar. Metal. That'll be for the cover. So the metal connection to James Bond is there as well. So this kind of just goes to prove a point that you can be a fan of something that doesn't necessarily align with the other fandom. You can be a metalhead and like bands like Lamb of God and Metallica, and be, you know, own a crazy guitar in crazy shapes, and still be a fan of this gentleman spy with the bow tie and the tuxedo and all that, and still cross those two worlds over. So if you enjoy this video, like it, send me a comment, subscribe, comment on this video on Instagram. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's a cover that I'm missing, or a piece of music that I'm missing that has a rock vibe that I haven't mentioned. Thanks very much. Take care, guys.